Tanbreez is unique. It's a pedigree, 400 drill holes, 500,000 samples, bulk samples, 25 years worth of consistent work on a very exclusive, very rarely found, very thick block of rock type called catorquitite. And catorquitite is a very alkaline rich rock, hardly found on the face of the earth. And the consequence of that is when you go and put 400 holes into something which is about 4.7 billion tonnes worth of host rock, and a continuous, homogenetic, very pure, a bit like a block of cheese. You stick a hole in a block of cheese and you'll get a block of cheese all the way through the core of the cheese. Fairly soft, mineralised to the surface. Deep drilling shows that we've got an incredible opportunity to exploit maybe 100 to 200 years worth of consistent mining and a highly consistent grade. Very high numbers, 4,000 average ppm, 0.4%, 30% heavies. And then the oxides are a bit more exciting in some respects with zirconia, hafnium, tantalum, and niobium, representing possibly a significant portion of rare earth and rare metals to the tune of maybe half the world's current reserves. And we're not quoting that after spending $25 million, or the previous owner, but the US Geological Survey. So that deep drilling, it's only been released to the public for the first time because it was a private company. And after spending $25 million as a private company, now CML and European Lithium have the opportunity to exploit maybe one of the most exciting mineral discoveries in the world. 45 million tonnes as a maiden resource with consistent grades over 30-metre average drill holes. Start taking the 300-metre drill holes that have been built at Tanbreez in the last 10 years, 5 years, and then in 2024, 45 million tonne maiden resource, giving us about 25 years worth of continuous mining under our current permitting. Great thing to have, but a dozen or so holes and it gets to 100 million tonnes very quickly. So 30-metre holes compared to 300-metre holes. The 300-metre holes that we've published recently show that we have millions of tonnes of grade, and I suppose the academic exercise for the company is that we put a few holes in, we close out the resource, we prove it to proven, probably not probable. We could call it a mining reserve if we wish to and close the drilling up a little bit more, but we think that the drill and blast would do that for us, and we also feel that it'll grade up, not down, because it's so thick and so uniform. There will be high grade cut-offs which are much higher than and most people have ever published. It is academic. We need to close out a mining reserve and we need to get cracking with mining the thing. Gallium is a hero metal with the US government and US authorities. Gallium has a mixture of uses. The Chinese, of course, produce gallium. Western Australia, of course, produced gallium years ago from smelting, as did the Danes for the last 200 years. Gallium is a hero metal because it's required for defence, it's required for space exploration, it's required for other uses which, of course, the Chinese have blocked to the Western Alliance. When you take a drill hole at Tanbreez, over 300 metres, and it's holding 100 ppm just in one hole. But then where gallium has been sampled, which was an unknown metal really, in 2015 when most of the drilling was done, it simply hasn't been assayed. Now all of a sudden, the whole world wants to know about it. Highest recorded gallium number, 147 ppm from Tanbreez, was just a lucky assay that we had a free element to sample from the lab, and we said gallium, so they sampled it. We came back at 147 ppm. We're very confident that our 400 drill holes all contain gallium. It's just that sort of ore body. How many vertical metres, how much lateral expanse, how many thousands of tonnes of gallium. We'll work that out in the near future. I'm sure our American partners, when we firm them up, see that as being a very, very valuable oxide and obviously a credit to our rare earth basket. Tanbreez is a majorly significant resource to the Western Alliance. If you look at that bottom line NPV over a 25-year mine life, if you look at what it does for the stakeholders in Greenland, Greenland's a very unique country, 56,000 people. They need that sort of mining operation to technologically advance its workforce. And more importantly, what will supply the Western Alliance, the critical metal space and the critical mineral space right now? We'd be very reliant on Tanbreez. You've got to look at the work that Tanbreez has done. It hasn't been done in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, it's 25 years. A massive amount of reporting from metallurgenic right through to end product, downstream end product, how do you build a refinery. All of these things have been worked very carefully over the 25 years by some of the best geoscientists in the world, going all the way back to what's been done on the ground. And what's been done on the ground is relatively easy. Actually putting into a public company domain and talking about the net present values, the returns of 180%, 160% in Australia, 180% in America with the discounts. And then returns. I mean, the internal rate of return, sure, but the paybacks, less than 3 years. Really, it's a simple mining process, a simple concentrate process. The refining process is much more complicated. We've seen what Lynas have had to do in Australia to send a mixed con to Mountain Pass in California. Tanbreez presents another robust economic mining opportunity for Greenland and of course refining opportunity for the US. And the scale has to be measured. The scale needs to be measured over what we have closed off at 45 million tonnes currently and a 25-year mining operation to hundreds of years of mining operation. It's just that sort of ore body. You could compare Tanbreez to the iron ore industry in Western Australia and how you have 100, 200, 300-year reserves. That's what we can do at Tanbreez. And of course, the robustness is based on simplicity. Whilst a pedigree homogenic rock containing eudolite, vetsunite and the feldspars, it's a simple process in a pedigree asset that has supply chain and longevity. And that's why it's so robust. And whilst the numbers are conservative, and whilst the commodity prices are moving the right way, and whilst we have this situation with China, a non-supplier of rare earths, America can supply who it wants with continuous supply from Tanbreez. The easiest part with Tanbreez is putting some holes in it and completing a mining reserve. From that point, the definitive studies in relation to a simplistic view on the mining operation over 25 years initially, upgrading it as we go, concentrating on how big the concentrator is and how quickly we ship out concentrate to the end user, refining the rare earths and the oxides in America. We think that's what our next steps are. We believe the first stage of mining is what we do very well from an Australian point of view. Building a concentrator even easier, being magnetic separation and some ore sorting, and principally having colour control, being the 3 types of ore, and then having, of course, the simplicity of magnetic separation, producing a high concentrate between 2 and 2.5%. That's something that can be measured and defined quite easily. The refinery stage, the offtake partner stage, the partnering stage, that's where you spend significantly more money, and of course using the most modern process methods to refine the concentrate in the US, or maybe in Europe. We're not sure about that. We are sure though that America needs to have these products. They need longevity, and the definitive part of the downstream processing is something which is taking its own course, and that's from our American management. Our Australian management is purely and simply doing what we do best, digging a hole and then producing concentrate. We firmly believe that the simplicity and the budgeting and our estimates are well and truly simplified in a DFS, which we will publish in the very near future. But further to that, of course, the Greenland government are fully supportive of putting this mine into production as soon as possible. We have and will go past the exploration stage by the end of this year. We'll continue to explore, of course, due to the vastness and the depths of mineralisation, which are consistent, and we're not worried about that. What we need to do is to get the mining operation and the process operation in a position to break ground when we're told to break ground, and we think we can achieve that relatively easy. The first, second and third stages are completely defined. The third stage is being estimated. The second stage is well and truly past scoping study level at this stage, and we can rely on the robust economic plan because it has been written before in 2012, in 2016 and 2019 by the previous owner, our partner. We're testing that, and whilst we've got great results from our scoping study, and our preliminary economic assessment in the US, scoping study in Australia, will move very quickly to a definitive feasibility study, or what we have to call now a feasibility study in Australia and a DFS in America. And very confident that we can do it in a timely fashion.